Hello everyone, welcome back to AK Coding YouTube channel. I'm very happy to see you in this our 8th lesson of our JavaScript video, and today we're going to talk about objects. If you're ready, let's get started. What are objects in JavaScript? Objects are collections of related data stored in key value pairs. They help group related information together. And for example, here as you can see we have let, which is a variable, and the variable name is person, and we are creating an object in here. Object we can imagine to understand easier. So the person, and they have their features or characteristics or something else. And person have name, they have he or she has age or city, right? And I want to mention some takeaways. So here, name, age and city, they are property names of an object. And the string number and the string of the city, like John, 25 and Warsaw, values can be strings, numbers, arrays, other objects or functions. So these are the values of the key properties. So we call these three things are keys property of the object. These are the values of the keys. So let's create an object in our Visual Studio Code. So I would like to write let. Instead of writing person, we can write car. And what does have a car? So car has a model, right? And then we have to put this kind of two dots, and then we have to write a value for that. So model can be Audi. And after that, if I want to continue with other property keys, so I need to put a comma, and then I can write here 2019 with the right, and I can give a color also. It can be black. So let's not write much, so this is enough for, and then we are going to write a console for this. I'll write console.log, and I'll write person, and not person, I'm sorry, car. And then we will see what we are going to take in this situation. So I'll just clear this one, and I'll write node app.js. And as you can see, we are getting this kind of value. So it's returning model, Audi, year is 2019, and color is black. So these are the key property and the values of an object, which is car, because we are putting a console log a car. And let's continue. So how can we access object properties? So the object properties, model, year, color, how can we access for them? Using dot notation. If we use dot notation, we can take only one key property and the relative its value. So if I write car dot notation, and as you can see, it's just in three of them, right? Color, model, year, because we have only these three. So I want to take, for example, model first, right? I'll just put model, and if I again rerun, we're getting Audi as a result. And the next accessing object properties is using bracket notation, which is this bracket notation, square, and we can put the key property with a string. So how can I do this? So I will just remove dot notation, and I will put this one, and I'll write model with a string. And if I rerun this, I'm getting Audi still. Or if I write instead of this year, I think we had the year, and if I run this, we're getting 2019. If I change to 2029, so we'll be getting 2029. And we can also update property values. So we have a property model, and I want to change Audi to another value. How can we do this? So we need to assign person with dot notation city is equal to another one, right? So how can we do this? So I'm going to write here console log. Before I'll write model dot, right? And then we'll write here actually Audi. So before writing, oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. So we have to write car first, and then we'll put model, and which is equal to BMW. And if I run this with model, and we will be getting BMW. So we have updated the key property of the value. And the next one we can also update with the square bracket notation. So how can we do this? So we have to just write this and then model. And same result as we expected. Some key takeaways. So you learned how to access the object properties with two ways. The first one is using dot notation, the second one is using bracket notation. And even also we can update the property values with these two methods to accessing object properties. So dot notation is cleaner but works only when the property name is known. So we can use dot notation, but the property name should be known. But bracket notation is useful when accessing properties dynamically. So methods in objects. Objects can contain function methods to perform actions. And adding a method to an object, how can we do this? So as you can see, we have a person and we have two properties, and the third property is within a method which is function. And the first property we have John string value, type of the value is string, and the next one is birthday is 2000 and get age. So we want to get the age from the date of now, from like just minusing 2000. So if we are in, for example, 2025, and if it's 2000, so we'll be getting 25, right? Because we are subtracting this. And if we run this console log, we'll be get depends on the current year. So let's do this. I'm just going to make smaller for now, and I will just comment this, and I will declare new variable called person, and I will create an object. This is creating an empty object, and I'll be writing here name is, for example, mine, Abu, right? And we can put here age, for example, 1995. And after this, I'm going to write get year, and here I'll put this one, and I'm writing function with simple function, traditional, and I will be writing here what? Return new date. So new date is a JavaScript in order to get a full year of the now new date. So I'll write return new date, and I'll write out of this get full year. So full year is 2025, right? And again function, square, just brackets, and then I'll write this. Why we're writing this actually? This is an object, so it says this, which is instead of a person, of which key property we are going to take. So it is showing an object. So this dot age, and after that, that's all. We can put semicolon if we want. It's not necessary. And then out of, a part of person, write console.log person get here, and we have to put this because it's function. And if I rerun this, I'm getting 30, because if we calculate 2025 minus 995, it's 30. So I am here right. Okay, some key takeaways. Methods are functions stored in objects. So we can store store a function instead of an object. So we can use them as a method. So let's continue. So we have also nested objects. Nested objects means one object inside next object, another object. So we call them nested objects. Objects can store other objects as properties. So here we are declaring a book variable with an object, and we're giving title the alchemist, and after that we have an author. An author, this one is a new object inside of our book object. And if we want to access for them, we have to also call the parent object. So we can call this parent object, and this is a child object. And instead of our author object, we have two objects, which are key property first name and last name, and as a string, they're Paulo Coelho. And out of an author, we have, instead of a book object, we have a year, which is the key property year, and the value type of the value is 1988 is a number. So let's do this. So I'm going to just put here another object. Okay, none to put here. Maybe we can just comment out this, and I want to put here actually price. So how? So I'll write price, right? And then I'll put this one, and I can write, yes, USD maybe. Let's commit this, and in euro this one. So we're getting this one because we didn't put comma. So, and now we can, how can we handle this USD in order to see? So I need to write here, so car dot price dot USD, and now we'll be getting this result 2000. So let's run 2000. We're getting now. If I don't use car, what will happen actually? So let's do this, and we run the project. So when we run this, saying console log price USD is not detected actually, so it's not defined. So it's a reference error. Why price is not defined? Because we have a price inside of our car object. Because, let me do it a bit smaller, because we have a car object which is a parent object, so we cannot access out of here. But if I just put it here instead of this one, we are getting this error because of this, and we cannot even use this because what is saying? It is saying expect this one, but we have. And if I write quick fix explain, and using Copilot, you can use also Copilot for explanations of the error is unexpected, usually indicate a syntax issue in your JavaScript code. So it means we cannot use these things. So it means we cannot use them. Okay, so let's just remove this, and we can put back, and now it works fine. So we cannot use console logs inside of an object. So the next one is iterating over objects. Objects are not indexed like arrays, so they are not indexed like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we use for in loop to iterate over them. So we have for loop, and we have also for in loop, which we can iterate and get their indexes too. So we have a car, brand, model, year, and we're iterating let key in car and console log key in the car. So let's use this. How can we get this? I'm just going to do this one. Maybe we can comment this for now, and we have this three things. Okay, we can put it just back, and I want to write here with for loop. I'll write for let, I can write key in car, so you can write anything here. I can write k in car even, or I can write index in car, and if I write here console log index car index, and if I run this, we're getting this kind of beautiful thing like model Audi, year is 2029, color is black, price is USD, 2,000, euro is 1,500. No, 15,000 actually. So some takeaways: for in loops. So let's go back. For in loops through each key in object. So it means we can use for in loop in order to get each object as a key, and we can even take them as in order to get their index too. So how can we take their index? In order to get their index, we can just give some index numbers, and then it's possible to get it. So I think for today we were going to teach these things about objects, main things. We didn't deeply learn objects. We learned today's methods in objects, accessing object properties, nested objects, and iterating over objects. So we had a simple coding challenge. Create an object, like this kind of object, car, model, year, or doesn't matter. And to represent a movie, so we have to create a movie object and display its details. For example, their name, their year, for example, you can create another nested object inside, and you can write actor's name and blah blah blah. So I hope you learned something new. I'm very happy for that. If you have any questions, just comment below, and don't forget to share with your friends and hit the subscribe button. See you in the next videos.